Ethan Miller got the job, got the raise, and finally saw a salary that looked safe on paper. But the moment real life touched that paycheck, the number started to lie. Every month, Ethan watches the same story repeat. The paycheck arrives with hope, but before he can build anything, rent, food, taxes, and debt quietly tear it apart. Rent hits first, then groceries, then car insurance. Each bill looks normal by itself, but together, they make Ethan's paycheck feel smaller before the month even begins. Student loans, credit cards, subscriptions, medical bills, gas, childcare, and taxes all do the same thing. They do not ask permission, they just take a piece. A salary can look strong when it is just a number on paper, but once real life surrounds it, that big number can shrink faster than anyone expects. Ethan's problem is not rare. Across America, millions of workers with decent jobs are asking the same painful question. Why does good income still feel weak? These people are not lazy. They're not unemployed. Many work full-time, earn respectable salaries, follow the rules, and still feel financially trapped every single month. To understand what is happening, we have to open 5 invisible doors. Behind each one is a quiet force that keeps eating a good salary. This is the money chapter, and today we are opening the chapter most people feel every payday, but almost nobody explains clearly enough. Most people judge money by the headline number. $72,000 sounds strong, but the headline salary is not the money Ethan actually controls. Before Ethan can spend even $1, taxes, benefits, insurance, and payroll deductions have already taken their first cut from the paycheck. Ethan may say he makes $72,000 a year, but his bank account never receives $72,000. It receives the smaller afterlife version. Then, rent takes the first real bite, because needing a place to live is not optional. Housing does not wait for your budget to feel ready. After rent, the paycheck moves through transportation, food, debt, and insurance. At every stop, another piece disappears until the money feels worn out. This is the paycheck illusion. From the front, the salary looks full and powerful. But behind it, most of the money is already promised away. Money enters the account, then money exits through bills. Ethan stands in the middle of the flow, wondering why nothing ever seems to stay. The second problem is simple but painful. Normal life became more expensive. Not luxury life, not rich life, just ordinary American life. This is not about yachts, sports cars, or private jets. It is apartments, groceries, medicine, bus passes, phone bills, gas, and basic survival. The painful part is that prices do not always rise loudly. They rise quietly, one small increase at a time, until the budget feels trapped. One small increase will not break Ethan's budget. But 10 small increases, stacked together month after month, can quietly destroy the whole plan. That is why many Americans feel like their money has a leak. The paycheck arrives full, but somehow it keeps draining before anything can grow. They are not buying mansions or luxury watches. They are buying eggs, paying rent, filling gas, covering phone bills, and trying to stay normal. When basic expenses become heavier, a good salary starts to feel average. Then average starts to feel tight. Then tight starts to feel impossible. Each cost may feel like one small paper cut, but 100 small cuts happening every month can still make a paycheck bleed. Now comes the biggest budget killer for many Americans: housing. The monthly bill that arrives before almost every other dream has a chance. Housing is usually the first bill, the largest bill, and the one Ethan has the least power to change quickly. If rent rises, Ethan cannot simply decide to stop needing a home. That is what makes housing so powerful and so dangerous. And when mortgage rates rise, the same house can suddenly cost hundreds more every month, even though the house itself did not change. Think of the paycheck as a paper table. When housing removes one big leg, the whole financial structure begins to wobble. Ethan's income may be decent, but his fixed costs are stronger. And fixed costs do not ask permission before taking their share. For many workers, staying feels too expensive, but leaving feels too complicated. That is how housing turns income into a trap. Debt is not just a number on a screen. Debt is a claim on money Ethan has not even earned yet. Debt turns new money into old money. The paycheck arrives fresh, then gets pulled backward into yesterday's choices and yesterday's bills. Ethan gets paid on Friday, but Monday is already waiting with lenders, credit cards, loan servicers, and payment reminders. Debt does not care if Ethan is tired, stressed, or falling behind. It simply shows up on time and asks for payment. Life takes money from the front. Debt takes money from the back. And in the middle, Ethan's peace slowly disappears. Then comes lifestyle inflation, the quiet habit where earning more slowly turns into spending more without feeling like anything changed. A raise feels like relief, so Ethan upgrades the apartment. But soon, the new rent quietly swallows the raise whole. A better job makes a better car feel reasonable, until the monthly payment becomes another chain tied to the paycheck. After long workdays, delivery, shopping, and small comforts feel harmless. But stress spending can slowly become another hidden monthly bill. The reward becomes normal, the normal becomes expensive, and the raise disappears before it ever turns into real freedom. Ethan climbs higher, but the floor rises with him. More income does not help if expenses climb just as fast. That is the dangerous part. The pressure does not disappear. It only comes wrapped in nicer packaging and better-looking choices. Another quiet problem is the subscription economy, where small, automatic payments make Ethan's wallet bleed without drama, warning, or emotion. $10 here, $15 there. One app, one service, one membership. Small charges slowly become a real bill. Ethan does not decide every month. The system decides for him, while automatic payments quietly move money away in the background. A physical wallet leak is easy to see, but a digital wallet with 20 tiny leaks is much harder to notice. That is why people say, "I do not know where my money went." The truth is, it left quietly, in pieces. A good salary may survive a normal month, but real life is not always normal, and surprises can get expensive fast. The car breaks, a medical bill arrives, or a pet gets sick. Suddenly, the month Ethan planned for no longer exists. The real problem is not always the emergency itself. It is that the margin was already too thin before it happened. Margin is the space between what Ethan earns and what he owes. Without that space, every small problem feels dangerous. When there is no margin, emergencies turn into debt, and today's surprise becomes next month's payment with interest. An emergency fund does not make Ethan rich. It simply stops one bad week from turning into 6 bad months. Without a buffer, the cycle repeats again. Emergency, credit card, payment, stress, and then another emergency right behind it. Budgeting helps, but budgeting alone cannot fix a life structure where the biggest costs are already too heavy. A map can show Ethan the road, but it cannot make rent cheaper, erase debt, or lower insurance by itself. The goal is not only to track every dollar. The real goal is to rebuild margin inside the paycheck. That means asking hard questions. Which fixed costs are too heavy, and which debts are stealing future income? Shame makes people hide from money. Clarity makes Ethan face it, organize it, and finally understand what must change. Once Ethan can see the system, he can stop guessing and start changing the parts that drain his paycheck. Here is the reset system. Split the paycheck into 3 buckets: fixed costs, flexible spending, and future money. Fixed costs are the bills that arrive no matter what: rent, insurance, debt, utilities, transportation, and basic survival. Flexible spending is the money that moves: restaurants, shopping, entertainment, convenience, subscriptions, and small daily choices. Future money is the part that protects tomorrow: emergency savings, debt payoff, retirement, skill building, and long-term options. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to make sure at least some money survives for Ethan's future.
Start small. Find one leak first, because one leak closed today can protect tomorrow's paycheck from disappearing. Then look for one fixed cost Ethan can reduce, even slightly. Small space is still space, and space creates control. Then choose one debt to attack, because focused progress is stronger than trying to fight every bill at once. Then build one small emergency target. Even $500 can stop a small surprise from becoming new debt. Then find one way to increase earning power, because cutting costs helps, but stronger income creates more choices. Small changes are not magic, but repeated long enough, they can build the space Ethan's paycheck has been missing. That space is where control begins. Not luxury, not perfection, just breathing room between income and pressure. If you have a good salary and still feel broke, you are not crazy. Ethan is not crazy either. The system changed.